He raised the son from the dead. God raised that through him. That would have been a faith building for him. Letting the oil not run out would have been, and it's the same as the widow. Through the oil and through the lack. Come on. And your faith will build with someone else's faith no matter what you're involved in. You will get faith, they'll get faith, and God will be glorified through it. And it's important, that's why it's important to journal. It's important to keep a journal at home. Write down the things that God has showed you and that you've increased in your faith, or something, some journey that God's done with you, and then you've got it to look back from and remember the good things that he's done, hey? God uses our walk in life to touch many people that we come in contact with, and he's orchestrating many moments to increase faith in both you and them. And at times you don't even know what the impact is upon those people. No idea. People are watching you. Just look for opportunities. You'll get them. I go down the road, there's a pieman down an old Cleveland road down there. I go and have a pie now and again. And I just say, how you going? And talking to him, and he says, oh, you know, this is happening, the business and that and whatever else, and tell him about his life. I said, man, you're looking tired. Just look for some opportunity. You're not preaching the gospel. And he said, yeah. And he says, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm a minister, you know, I'm a preacher, and da-da-da. And he goes, oh, wow. And then I go back another time. I haven't seen you for a while. And then he says to me, is there anyone I can come and talk to? I need to talk to someone. I see him next week, Monday, tomorrow. I'll go and see him. Isn't it this? It just takes a few times, a few pies. Who loves to go and get something while you're doing something? It's cool. Go to the shop, same shop every time, at the baker's shop. I just get another cream donut. Thanks. How you going today? I love those cream donuts. You know what I mean? Whatever. Just look for opportunities. It's unreal. See, many times you'd think that, you know, that lady with the oil, she got the miracle of the oil, never run out, and the flour. And then her son gets sick and her face down there. Anyone been there? See, we've been through things, we've seen things, and God's answered prayers and done great things for us. But then when something bigger comes along that seems so big that we can't get over because it's bigger than the past, your face starts to go, oh God, will you be there? What am I going to do? Get what I'm trying to say? And this is what the widow went through when the son came. We say, well, why didn't it? Well, I would say, we're pretty well the same. We're going on a journey. But what will happen is when you walk with the Lord more and you get more faith, the things that are up here, the things back there that scared the daylights out of you don't scare you anymore because you've grown through that. But there are people back there, remember that is huge. And you're no good you coming back and say, oh, get over yourself. That's nothing, right? Because to them it's huge. We're on different walks. But from you being here, you can come back here and show them some stuff to help them through and give them your testimony and experience. And that's what it's about. Too many times we act and we react out of things and we say, God, where were you in this? Where were you? Instead of, you're supposed to be a loving father and you let these circumstances come upon me. You know, as I said, we went away, and I read one of the books was The Shack. And even though it's a fiction book and so on, but there was some good stuff in there, some good thoughts. And one of the thoughts there is, you know, there's a few, but one was really good for me. I shared to the early one. But another one was this, is that he said that a lot of times the father's talking to him, see, his kid gets killed by a serial killer, then this letter comes and takes him back to the place where his child was killed, and God meets him there and then talks with him and comes through and becomes a real dad to him and da-da-da. Comes in the form of a lady, God does. How about that spin you? When I read that, I go, whoop, close the book. But no, I thought, hey, come in the form of that. Then he says, why I came in the form of a lady is because you can't accept a man's love because of your father. And I think, I am all things to all people. I was, oh, it's fun, you know. And I went on the journey, and he says, you know what? He says, when people want softness and compassion, they go to my son Jesus. But when they want wrath and revenge, they come to me. And he says, it's just not fair. Because Jesus was the exact replica of me, and I am all things. So why do they see me as different? And at times in our life, we see God as a judging God and a God that wants to come down on us and the Father, and we need to understand that God is a loving God. He may have circumstances like this with Elijah and things coming upon your life, and you'll think, God, where were you? Why did that accident happen? Why did you allow that car to come through the red light? Why did I lose my job? Why did this person get sick? You know, why did all that? Where were you, Lord? But the Lord is so gracious and loving is because he gives us our own mind. He gives us our own will that we can make our own decisions. You know, most times when accidents happen, it's an accident. We say, oh, God did it or the devil did it. Sometimes it's human error. Someone got drunk and drove a car, and you were just driving past and they went through the red light. It wasn't God's fault, but God turns things into good. You see, you'd be surprised how many times God has stopped something from you happening. We'll be amazed. You understand that? We have guardian angels, ministering spirits, that minister to those who inherit the kingdom of God. That's you. You have, ministering spirits around you and so on. We'll be surprised. You know what? I believe now, when I go back and I forgot my keys, anyone forget your keys, and you're going out, go back and get my keys. I just think, stupid idiot, I've got my keys. Where are they? Right? Now I see it as a God moment. Because you don't know, if I didn't go back and miss that minute, I could have been slammed I would know what would happen. And then you're the opposite, because you kept a minute, something happened, but whatever. But I don't get upset because I see it as a God moment. And in the shack it says that God, he said, I did everything to reconcile man to me. It's a two-way street reconciliation. There's forgiveness, and the one receiving forgiveness has to receive it. He said, I've given it, now they have to receive it. So God is the one that he does not actually put everything on you so that you can't have. You want to go and buy a car? No, I don't want you to have that car. Imagine being dictated by someone that stops you from everything you want to do. You would feel in bondage, wouldn't you not? Oh, I like a red one. You get a white one. I wanted this, I didn't get that. I always found that if you bring God into everything, he'll always look after you. I've never lost money on any boats I've ever bought. Never. Because you take God with you on the decision, and you know inside what's right and wrong. If there's just walk away. You know, I said to God, I've just taken up shooting as a hobby. We do target shooting. And my cousin is a world championship shooter. Represents Australia and everything. He's 70 now. I never knew him a few months ago. Now I go up and see him. And I said to God, I would really like a 22 lever action. Just something that's cheap to run, 50 bullets, $5, that's nothing. Just a cheap one. And I talked to the Lord about it, something that's accurate, that's good condition. You've got to be specific with God. Come on. And then what happened is he gave me more, which he does. My cousin said to me, I want to sell this one to you. It was half the price you'd ever get. He said, I don't want to put it down through my family who's been asking my brothers and everything. I want to give it to you because you'll pass it through. A 1904, 106 years old, 22, which is a Henry Martini lever action, perfect condition, and it's got the little peephole scopes, and he won the gold and silver medal in the Commonwealth Games with it. You see, God will do these things because he just loves you and because you take things to him. But he doesn't hand it out on a plate. That widow had to do something to receive. Did she not? She had to give out of her lack. Elijah had to go to the brook to see the miracles of the provision of the ravens. He had to go to the widow for the food. He had to go upstairs to get the miracle up there. There's something that we must do to receive. And Father lives in a realm of faith. He loves children's asking and seeking his will. And he's asking you today to step into that. So in just closing, I want to ask you this. What's your drought? What's your drought? What do you need more of? Take it home and think about that. What is it you're looking for? Have you a shortage of something? You may not have a shortage of water and food, but you may have a shortage of patience and peace. You might have lost all your hope in a situation, or you may be needing more strength. You may be feeling worn out. You may be needing a job. You may be needing something in your life where you're in a drought period in that area. So it's time to seek the Lord for the word to take you on to the next place and ask him what you are to do while you're waiting. Whatever it is, whatever the shortage, time, finances, if God can meet it to a person like Elijah, he can meet it for you. Is that true? You encouraged with that this morning? Look for it. Good Father, he loves you. Let's pray.